Boom. No, vabbè, a parte gli scherzi. Dimmi. No, no. Faccio partire così con, scusate un attimo, il boom assurdo della... Allora, ragazzi, finalmente possiamo fare una cosa bellissima chiamata la quest in Neuvilette, che io stavo aspettando dall'alba dei tempi, e perché adesso mi sembra un po' esagerato, però comunque la stavo aspettando da parecchio, sin da quando l'hanno annunciato per tutte queste persone. E che cavolo, e santo cielo, non posso giustamente impedire a loro di andare dritti, dritti, però santo cielo, un minimo di contegno. Se stai buono. Mi hanno detto che la quest in Neuvilette tratta temi molto maturi, il che mi viene da dire tutta Fontaine, come ha detto giustamente una mia amica, è molto matura, è diversa. Fontaine è il dopo Sumero, cioè già da Sumero hanno cominciato a trattare delle cose molto importanti, non che prima non lo facessero, ok? Ma adesso un pochino più adulto, perché man mano ci stiamo avvicinando a cose molto importanti, sia nel viaggio del traveler, sia nel viaggio comunque tutti quanti, devi stare zitto.
But I also see the meaning in all the
Sì,
endeavors of the people of Fontaine.
adesso vado a fare tutto questo, un attimo facciamo un'introduzione ai ragazzi. Quindi io sono curiosa adesso. Mi hanno detto che è abbastanza importante quello che succede. E ci credo. Anche quella di Lini era comunque molto bella, cioè comunque parlava del loro passato. Non ve l'ho fatta vedere lei perché era molto bellina, ma era abbastanza tranquilla. Nonostante fosse molto impattante alla fine. Anche poi hanno preso l'abitudine di fare le cutscene non solo ovviamente cinematic, ma anche disegnate. Quindi andiamo alla movie. È in piedi? Sì, è in piedi. Non capivo se era solo in piedi, in piedi.
Wait, did I hear that right? Monsieur Neuvilette, are you sure you'd like to take over the case yourself?
Oh,
That's right.
è raro che lui lo faccia nella... visto che ce l'ho come personaggio giocabile, ce l'ho come personaggio, viene raccontata nella sua storia che lui è raro che prenda proprio in mano personalmente un caso. Quindi sai, vuol dire che è importante o per lui o per altro.
No, but why? Technically speaking, cases like this are better left to the guards. Neuvilette! Sabine! Hey there! What are you two talking about? Ugh, Traveler in Paimon, please help me talk our Chief Justice out of this.
Perché devo
He wants to
aiutarti io?
investigate a case on his own.
Va bene.
No, this is completely unprecedented. How can we have the Udex acting like a private detective?
Questo è vero, conosco dei bravi investigatori.
I trust that you'd be able to work that out with how well connected you are. But I must apologize. I do not plan on relying on anyone else's help for this matter.
Ok, posso ben accompagnarti?
So, what is it exactly? It sure sounds serious if it's something you've got to investigate personally.
Certo, non va a caso.
A Melusine named Kiara received a threat letter.
And then?
Oppure?
That is all the information I have acquired at this stage.
Oh. Perché deve aver ricevuto una determinata... Non è Lucina
I have no
poi.
idea why you're so hung up over this. I've checked the
Beh, lui ci
schedule in
tiene a
advance and
Melusina.
it seems like there aren't any trials today. So, if you insist, well, I have no objections.
Thank you for understanding. I will leave a note explaining my absence on my desk. I would appreciate it if you could take it to Lady Farina. She may have no interest in official affairs, but standard procedure dictates that I'm still
Vabbè, almeno così
responsible
non si
for reporting
preoccupa,
to
visto
her.
che
Yes, yes, understood. I'll come
poverina
back later and deliver the note
è
to her.
parecchio sensibile, Furina.
Judging from Sadine's reaction, it must be pretty rare for you to investigate stuff personally. What's so special about this case?
I cannot tell you just yet. but it reminded me of certain past events.
Ah sì?
There could be complicated conflicts of interest behind all this, so I must eliminate all risks in advance.
Come on, stop being so secretive. We still have no idea what's going on.
It is not my intention to keep you in the dark, but I need some time to revisit those memories and collect my thoughts. Long story short, a little more than 400 years ago, I became the Iudex of Fontaine and initiated a series of
100 anni
institutional
dopo
reforms.
la...
There were few people I could trust, but I had two subordinates who were exceptionally trustworthy and capable. Carol, a Melusine, and Vautrin, leader of the
Quindi
Special Security
100
and
anni dopo la
Surveillance Patrol.
catastrofe. Cosa è successo? Quello era lui. Il drago precedente è morto, lui è nato 100 anni dopo. Per quello ho detto che è il successore.
They must have been amazing people to receive such high praise from you.
Indeed. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to protect them.
Oh no. Oh no, anche lui con gli amici morti. Basta.
The reforms damaged the interests of some, and the more conservative faction took advantage of Carol's identity
No,
to
no, devi
instigate
star
political
fermo. Lo
unrest.
sai.
Ultimately, they wanted me to yield more of my power. The incident resulted in Carol taking her own life, and Vautrin being exiled. From then on, I've been especially careful when dealing with cases related to Melusines.
Scusami. Ma la faccia, ma scusa. Oh, Genshin, devi stare calmo.
All Melusines used to live a secluded life away from human society.
Beh,
I
sì.
granted their wishes when some of them, including Carol, asked me to bring them to the court of Fontaine. Many common folk believe that I share a special bond with the Melusines, and whatever they do can be traced back to me. Some of them, especially those who hold a grudge against me, exploit that belief and stir up conflict over Melusines in an attempt to lay the blame on me. I have nothing against the opinions of others, but the moment a whirlpool of conspiracy forms, it inevitably affects the
È
innocent.
giusto.
It has already happened once, and I want to make sure it does not happen again.
Even so, why do you have to be the one investigating?
Se lui è il bersaglio li può affrontare,
There's the
forse.
guards, the Maréchaussée Phantom, and the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol. Aren't they more than enough to figure out what's going on?
Based on prior experience, there is a high chance that those who hold hostility towards me do not belong to the same department. The political system of Fontaine is relatively complex and involves the interests of multiple different factions. However, since I am technically an outsider in Fontaine, a lot of trouble could be avoided if I personally took on the case.
Outsider? But aren't you the Chief Justice of Fontaine? Why would you be an outsider?
I understand where you are coming from, but there is not necessarily a connection between my responsibilities and how I perceive myself.
Lo fa
You
per
know very
lavoro,
well
in
about my
pratica.
true identity, and have even met others of my kind in other nations. Even though I was born with a human form, there is a fundamental difference between dragons and humans. Taking on the role of Chief Justice does not make me a part of this community. In fact, the status I was granted has prevented me from forming deeper bonds with others. I have lived in Fontaine for a long time, but I do not belong here. That is why I call myself an outsider. A fish out of water.
Yeah, we have nothing to do with all those organizations anyway. So how about we come with you on your investigation?
Noi volevamo venire a parlare con
Let's team
te.
up and round up all the bad guys lurking in the dark.
I
That does not
cattivacci.
sound like a bad idea. I rarely investigate cases on my own, but with professionals like you around,
Oh,
I'm sure it
professionista
will go a
non
lot
così.
smoother.
Mi fai arrossire.
Oh, Paimon's starting to get a little embarrassed.
In questo momento sono d'accordo con Paimon.
I will write my note of absence right away. Let us
La
depart
nota
together once I'm
Ma
done.
che uomo bello. Che uomo dolce. Che uomo giusto.
Let us go. We should visit Chiara first and try to gain a better understanding of the situation.
Perché? Perché adesso va bene tutto. Possono non piacere melusine, ma addirittura ricevono terminatori. Ma state calmi.
So Neuvilette feels like he doesn't truly belong here in Fontaine, but is that really true?
Oh no, ti prego, non un altro balto tipo Ganyu.
Paimon
Ti
feels
prego.
like he has a kind of skewed perspective on a lot of things. Anyway, let's catch up with him first.
Non è che ha una visione distorta, è che non si sente parlare di questi Fontaine, quando in realtà probabilmente è molto ciò che resta del passato.
Paimon's been thinking. You called yourself a fish out of water, right? But since you're the Hydro Dragon,
Non dirlo
dragon
così
out of water
alto,
suit
ma
you
stai
better?
zitta.
Thank you for your suggestion. I will consider using the more accurate term in private occasions. Please allow me to rephrase. Has a dragon out of water?
That sounds kind of weird. Let's stick with the previous version instead.
Dov'è la signorina? Non è neanche così distante, pensavo fosse nel villaggio, che fosse...
I never thought I'd see him here. Does anyone have a camera?
Oh no. Lasciatemi stare, poverino.
The weather's amazing today.
Kiara,
Monsieur Neuvilette! And you are? Oh, I remember. You're the Traveler and Paimon.
Che carina che
I've heard
sei.
about you. Aw, she's adorable. Hey there, it's nice to meet you. Thanks for the compliments. Is there anything I can do for you?
I heard from Sidine that you received a threatening letter.
A threatening letter? Oh, right. I remember now.
Se l'ha già scordata, vabbè.
The letter fell through the crack in my door as I was heading out this morning. It said something about catching me,
crepa.
so I thought someone wanted to play hide and seek.
Come sono a giocare a nascondino? Oh mio Dio, la...
But
Toccia.
Sidine told me it was a threatening letter, and that I could be in danger. But
Ah, lei
that's
stava,
not gonna
lei stava
happen with everyone
fresca.
looking after me,
Non volete
right?
Basta, devi stare buona, dai, buona, buona. Le cazzo le cari.
Have you run into any suspicious-looking people recently?
Suspicious-looking people? What counts as suspicious?
Ti seguo magari.
Ah!
Eh?
Did you think of something? Nope.
No.
I don't remember meeting
Capo.
anyone like
Eh?
that.
No.
Do you still have the letter with you? I want you to show me what it says.
Oh, let's see. Found it.
Sì, voglio leggerla anch'io.
Now then, get lost. If you don't leave the Maréchaussée Phantom, I will come and catch you in person. Don't
Aspetto.
say I didn't warn you. A simple threat. Neither the handwriting nor the content itself reveals anything about the writer's intentions. We can't rule out that possibility. Since you can't think of anyone suspicious, I will be heading back to the Palais Marmonia to review some official documents.
Palais Marmon.
Kiara,
No,
you should
sì,
come
non ho
with us.
capito.
It's safer if you stay close by.
Sure. Wait, no. I still have a case to work on. I promised Alof that I'd check on her place later.
But you are being watched right now. Going off on your own could be dangerous.
And that's where we come
Quanto si
in.
preoccupa,
We'll stay
amore?
with Kiara and make sure she's safe.
Tu vai pure, noi ci pensiamo a lei.
That's around anyone scheming to hurt Kiara can forget about
Ti
it.
picchio,
Thank you, Traveler. Big sis Paimon.
sorellona.
Don't worry, your big
Sorellona.
sis Paimon is super strong.
All right,
Quando vuole,
let us
ma...
go our separate ways for now. Please take care of Kiara.
Che ora?
We'll take you to a lost place
Assolutamente.
right away.
Andiamo così ci pensiamo noi a lei. Che poi ci vado con lui, ma vabbè. C'è il traveler in
Let
realtà.
me think. 1, 2, 10. I can't remember.
Cosa?
But I remember coming to the Court of Fontaine with Carol and Neuvilette.
Ah, è
That
arrivata.
must have been a
Minchia.
long time ago.
Ok, 400 anni a posto.
Carol? Didn't Neuvilette mention her just now? That was more than 400 years ago.
Non sapevo quanti anni hai tu.
My memory isn't that good, but Carol told me I could address others based on how I feel about them. Paimon feels a lot more
Paimon
grown
ha
up
più di
than me,
400
so
anni,
you're a
quindi...
big sis.
Grazie Chiara.
Oh, Paimon sees.
Forse neanche Paimon lo ricorda.
Hey, Traveler, did you hear that?
Cosa? Ah, ma era qui dietro. Non penso dovessimo andare chissà dove, invece no. Charlotte.
Strange. Paimon felt like someone was following us.
Ayla!
Kiara, you're here. Huh? Wait, aren't these two...
Oh, they're the Traveler and Big Sis Paimon.
I thought so. What brings you here? Did you run into any trouble?
It's not really trouble anymore with us around.
May
Charlotte,
I
ti
begin
vedo.
inspecting the store as planned?
Cretina.
Of course. Go ahead.
Sembra una caramella, è bellissima.
No hazards detected. You've cleared the inspection. Seems like the criminal from that case last month never set foot in here at all.
That was quick. What were you inspecting?
I took a look around the shop.
Bravissima,
Neuvilette says
vabbè.
that us melazines have special eyes that can see things people can't. Things like bloodstains. No matter how hard you try to clean them up, we melazines can see their residual stains for some time. Pretty cool, huh?
All right. Now that you're done inspecting, can we have a chat?
Sì, è anche entrata.
I'm planning to release an outfit for children next month and wanted to hire you as my model. Is that okay with you?
Of course. Is there anything I need to do?
No.
Please wait a moment while I take your measurements. This sample should be a perfect fit.
Seems like they get along really well. Huh? What are you looking at?
Dove lo
Is
vedi?
there really someone watching us? Shh! Let's sneak over and take a look.
Lo sapevo che eri tu. Persona sospetta.
Strange. Why isn't he back yet?
Carlo.
Ah!
Perfetto.
Charlotte, what are you doing here? Oh, wait, don't tell Paimon you're the one who sent Kiara that threatening letter.
No,
But you don't
adesso
seem
no.
like the type to...
Adesso calmi.
Threat letter? What threat letter? This is starting to feel like an interrogation. Okay, I'll be straight with you. I don't know the slightest thing about that threat letter you mentioned. I only wanted to follow Monsieur Neuvilette and request an
Ho
interview
scelto
with
il
him.
momento proprio sbagliato, ma è l'unico momento in cui...
That's right. I'm not the only one, you know. Interviewing him is every journalist's dream. But it's not an easy task to accomplish. The Palais Mermonia rarely accepts appointment requests from us.
Vabbè, no, che
and we'll
quello...
never have
Ha
a
anche un
chance to
po'
interrupt when the
ragione.
court's in session.
E quindi l'ha visto
So
fuori.
imagine
Oh,
how
cavolo.
surprised I was seeing him out on the streets today. It seemed like you were investigating something too. Of course, I'll make sure to turn in my manuscript to him for review. I have my principles, and I'd never publish an article without the consent of
Oh, che
all parties
carina.
involved.
Io non fargli né parola.
Yeah, we're doing a secret investigation that can't be made public knowledge.
I see. Well, if you say so, I guess I'll put this matter aside for now.
Parleremo con lui, dai.
What a shame.
Almeno con
Chances like
lei,
this don't come by
poverina.
very often,
Non
you
voleva
know.
fare niente di
In
male.
exchange, could you tell me what the threat letter is about? I swear I won't tell.
All right then.
No, di Charlotte mi fido. Credo che se diciamo non lo fa, non la...
Someone's targeting a cute little melazine.
Sono d'accordo.
Not so loud.
It just so happens that I did an interview with Kiara. Last month, in fact. It was well received by our readers, so I was planning to continue the series. And now
Sì, ma nel
someone's coming
frattempo che noi
after
siamo
her.
qui, Chiara,
I'll ask
sta
my
bene?
colleagues about it. Who knows? We might find something.
Sembra che sta ancora
And don't
parlando con
worry,
la tipa.
I know what I'm doing. This secret's safe with me. But I gotta warn you.
Ah, ok,
even if I
quindi
keep
la
my lips
serie...
sealed, others will know eventually.
Quello è vero.
Why?
People care a great deal about Monsieur Neuvillette's each and every move. Some may have already realized that something was up. Besides, the case involves melazines. Anyway, I'll get going now. Watch yourselves, all right?
Ah, quindi noi faremo attenzione.
Well, that was a nice chat. Let's head back and check.
Perché se andiamo e non ci siamo... Oh, Clorind.
What do you think? The design looks pretty good, huh?
I think it's great!
Huh. It's very pretty indeed.
Oh, che carina.
Moran, what are you doing here?
Non respirare, Clorind.
It seems like you just showed up out of nowhere.
As I passed by the Palais Mermonia,
Donna
I heard that
Clorinda.
Neuvilette was investigating a case with you. Technically speaking, he and I are under an employer-employee relationship. It didn't
Effetti,
feel
vero.
right to have my employer personally take on such trivial cases. I happened to have some time at the moment, and came to take a look. I sometimes have my clothes custom
ce
made
la
at this
fa con quei
boutique, in
vestiti,
any
con quelle
case,
cose.
so we always have a lot to talk about.
Oh, Neuvilette sure is lucky to have someone like you.
Ce l'ha dimostrato
Leave
più
this
di
to
una
me.
volta, se posso dire.
You should go meet up with Neuvilette.
Okay, then, we'll leave Kiara in your hands. Come on, let's go find Neuvilette.
Sì. Sì, sì. È qua. No, scherzo. No, sono tranquilla del fatto che con lei c'è Clorind, altrimenti quel cavolo che la lasciavo da sola. No, questa è proprio mi scordo sempre che questa porta si apre da sola. Faccio sempre, devo premere sempre quadrato. Ciao, mio amore, come
Oh,
stai?
you're back. Is everything all right?
Sì, sì, tutto a posto.
We ran into Cloran. She offered to help us protect Kiara.
That is good to hear. I trust her abilities. It looks like Kiara is in good hands.
We thought so too. Well, did you find any leads?
I've been looking over the case records, specifically inspection reports submitted by Kiara and major cases I've judged over the past decade. I've come up with two plans. On one hand, I could start with Kiara and track down the group behind all this step by step. On the other, I could also analyze the conflicting interests of these major cases and confirm my suspicions if there is indeed a mysterious
Sono
group
entrambi
that bears a
ottimi.
grudge against me.
Però boh.
They both sound like pretty solid plans. But can you really finish browsing through all these documents?
Secondo me che è veloce a leggere che ci credo.
Don't worry. I'm a fast reader when it comes to official documents. After all, I have several hundred years of reviewing under
Anche
my
questo
belt.
vantaggio.
I'll help you read through them.
Thank you. I will continue looking through the ones piled up on the desk, but feel free to browse through anything else in this room.
Posso guardare tutto, va bene. Mamma mia, ma... Ah, ma no, aspetta. L'imputato Wriothesley ha confessato sui... Oh! Sarà esiliato a Forte Meropide, dove scontrerà la sua pena. Durante il processo non è rimasto in silenzio. Lo posso rileggere? No! Aspetta! Dai, ho perso una frase! Guarda le cose che ho fatto. No, me la fa dalla fine. Vabbè. Amen. Vabbè. Caso di corruzione. Grazie. C'è stato un grave caso di corruzione presso la Guard. Il laboratorio speciale di sicurezza e sorveglianza ha indagato sul caso. Molti sospettati che i morti sono stati arrestati. I sospettati hanno confessato i propri reati. Fa piacere che è durato. Vabbè. Il Consiglio rappresentante ha presentato una richiesta per collaborare con lo spettro Marchuse su specifici eventi pubblici. Adesso parlavo dello spettro. Ma cos'è? In base alle ricerche, il Consiglio è convinto che le melusine possano rendere tali eventi più popolari. Lo spettro Marchuse non ha ancora fornito una risposta. Ma chi è? Ciò non ha tuttavia proibito alle melusine di prendere parte all'attività. Non chiesto spettro Marchuse, però... Il caso di contromarzo è risolto grazie all'azione congiunta alla gara dello spettro Marchuse. Le principali responsabili sono riconosciute in base alla gravità del loro crimine. È un'organizzazione? È una persona? Per visionare l'elenco dei nomi si può fare riferimento all'appendice. Vabbè, sì. Ma questa è di Navia. Callas, capo della spina di rosa, appunto il papino di Navia, è stato battuto due ore ed è morto a causa di lesioni gravi. La difesa del suo onore è giunta alla fine. Nel corso del processo, l'imputato non ha espresso alcuna obiezione. Lo giudice Neuvilette ha rimasto il giudizio su questo caso. Alcuni dettagli in merito sono ancora sotto esame, però non abbiamo risolto. Questo però è vecchio, ovviamente. Poi lui non si dà ancora pace perché gli
Have you made any progress?
We skipped through some of them, but there wasn't anything
non è
useful.
vero? Lo spettro?
Oh, there's so many documents lying around. Just how many cases have you handled?
Se lo fa da 400 anni. Quanti casi vuoi che abbia occupato?
I would love to answer that question, but the truth is I've never made a precise calculation myself.
Non devi farlo. Dopo 400 anni non devi farlo.
If memory serves me right, there should be at least 100,000 cases. The documents you see are just a small fraction of what's really there.
Anche pochi 100.400 anni, credo. O troppi, o tanti, non lo so. No, non voglio stare a pensarci.
Whoa,
Sì, è troppo.
a lot. Looks like
That's
the
a
work of
lot.
Chief Justice isn't easy at all.
That might be how it seems from another's perspective, but trials and official duties are to me
Ormai
simply
sì,
routine.
dopo 400 anni anch'io fare le cose camminando.
There are many documents here. Take a break if you are tired.
No, continuo.
You read Paimon's mind.
All right. Let us take a break then.
Però che carino. Puoi sederti con noi. Ma sediti con noi, non stare a fare il suo ufficio. Perché dobbiamo stare in silenzio?
Even though resting is a part of taking a break, shouldn't we at least talk about something? All the silence is making Paimon feel really awkward.
Please pardon my lack of consideration. People rarely come to the Palais Memoria for matters outside of work. To be quite honest, I am not sure what we should do.
Solo Yuki avrebbe parlato. Il mio personaggio Yuki in questa sezione avrebbe parlato e detto oggi c'è bel tempo. No, che brutto.
Would you like to have some drinks, perhaps? You must be thirsty after all that work.
Che ci prova.
Ooh, drinks! Thank you! Paimon wonders what Neuvilette likes to drink. Oh, maybe he's a fan of really fancy wines. He seems like the type of person who'd own an entire winery. You know, like Diluc.
Penso proprio. Ma davvero portati? Ma è quello che usa nella sua...
Glasses. It looks just like water.
An
Carino.
astute observation. It is indeed water.
Guarda che fa la sua animazione. Guarda. Che flexano. Ragazzi, è un drago d'acqua. Cosa volevate che bevesse?
So it's just plain old water?
Ma non è che avete specificato.
What did you think it was?
Since you're the Chief Justice and all, Paimon thought you'd prefer something more...
Sì, ma raga, non avete specificato cosa volevate bere. Volete qualcosa da bere? Io porto anch'io nell'acqua. Se mi dice, vuoi da bere qualcosa? C'è qualcosa di specifico? No, acqua. Tieni dell'acqua. Se non dite, guarda, voglio soda, coca, qualche che non prende dell'acqua, perché lui è poi sofisticato a modo suo, però.
This water is indeed very special. It would not be an overstatement to call it sophisticated. I believe you've already tried Fonta. In fact, there are many other drink factories in Fontaine, including those that specialize in packaging pure drinking water. Said water is sourced from all across Tivat, including Mondstadt's Cider Lake, Liyue's Chinza village, and Inazuma's Konda village.
Oddio, non mi ricordo assolutamente il villaggio Konda.
Here is one of their latest products, water from Sumeru's Apam Woods. If I were to comment on their mouthfeel, The waters of Cider Lake warm the heart. The waters of Chinza Village have a poignant touch, while one might call the waters of Konda Village placid. Distinct differences exist between the waters of each area. You will appreciate their intricacies once you taste them carefully.
Really? Let Paimon try!
Öldü. Piano. Devi...
What do you think?
Non devi traccannare.
Nope. Paimon couldn't taste any
Assaggia
difference at
l'altra.
all.
Devi vedere la
Isn't this
differenza
just
tra i
normal
due.
water?
How regrettable. It seems like you still have a long way to go in refining your tastes.
Non tutti sono dei draghi d'acqua, però
Hey,
amore
this
mio.
doesn't have to do with refining our taste. Paimon's pretty sure most ordinary people can't tell the difference. How did you do it anyway? Oh, could it be because you're the Hydro Dragon?
Ve l'ha anche detto.
We are allowed to bring that up, right? Since no one else is around?
Se non lo vuole 420 sì.
Oh, Paimon's been wanting to ask this for ages. If you're the Hydro Dragon, why would you
Se mi
become
risponde, me l'hanno chiesto, ho detto sì, rido.
society?
Ma lasciatemela.
Sorry, Paimon was just curious. You don't have to answer.
There's nothing to hide. I was simply organizing my thoughts.
Mi date il tempo di pensare a questo poi non è che devi rispondere così.
I accepted this position because I wanted to seek out answers to questions that had perplexed me.
Ah no, ok, grazie, non era...
Questions? Are there really things you can't figure out?
Cioè, tutti hanno cose che non riescono a capire, che vogliono capire, Paimon. Non è che sei un drago, allora sa tutto, magari.
Many, in fact. But the one question that puzzles me the most concerns my own existence. In essence, I neither know why I was born in this form, nor do I understand where my long life should take me.
Per farci
I
amare
lost
tutti
many
quanti.
memories from the moment I was born. The primordial sea, for example. I can only vaguely recall its connection to me, but I am unaware of what that connection is exactly. Perhaps the elemental dragons of other nations may have some form of an answer. However, they are scattered across all of Teyvat.
True. Some of them have very unique personalities, too.
Ah, se no, sì.
I have been holding on to these unanswered questions for a long time. But there is one thing I've discovered along the way. My emotions easily resonate with those of others. Even I don't have the slightest idea what they mean. My guess would be that there are at least some similarities between humans and myself. By observing their behavior, perhaps I could one day
È
understand
meglio
the
di un
meaning of my
giudice nel
existence.
momento di tensione più terribile durante una sentenza, effettivamente. Non è è uno dei tanti momenti in cui l'uomo si sente abbastanza... Insomma, durante i processi possono accadere cose, e l'abbiamo visto.
Have you made any progress then?
Perhaps, but I find such progress difficult to describe. As an outsider, chances to engage in meaningful interactions with others are few and far between. That's why I'm quite thankful for this chat. Such opportunities are rare. Alas, time is
Possiamo
limited.
parlare quanto
We
vuoi,
should move
quando
on with our
vuoi, dove
investigation.
vuoi.
Are we gonna continue reading these documents? Paimon's getting dizzy already.
I wasn't able to find any leads even after browsing through most of the documents. But while we were on the topic of water a moment ago, another idea came to me.
Water? Do you mean...
That's right. The Fountain of Lucine is where all of Fontaine's waters converge. It is the vessel of countless memories and emotions.
Questo spiega perché riusciamo a sentire Furina che piange dopo la conquista, almeno la prima parte. Dovrebbe esserci ancora.
If there really were an organization attempting to use Melazines against me, they should also hold an intense resentment towards me. Perhaps we'll be able to find some new leads by sensing the hydro element within the fountain.
Why didn't Paimon think of that?
Perhaps
Andiamo.
we should go. There shouldn't be too many people.
È già sera. Siamo bravissimi. Oh, posso rileggere? Grazie, sì. È stato dichiarato colpevole dallo Judex. Ah, solo questo. Ok. No. Ricordi in pieno, ho paura. Che poi c'è
Monsieur
sera.
Neuvilette? I probably shouldn't disturb them.
Looks like we got
Ah no, mi
lucky
mettono
today.
la sera, ok.
There's hardly anyone around.
What should we do next?
Farà lui.
Traveler, can you still hear the voices from the fountain?
No, basta bere acqua primordiale.
Perhaps leave the investigation to me. I need you to take a few steps back and keep a safe distance.
A safe distance? Neuvilette, what exactly are you... Oh, it's glowing!
Ma lo tiri fuori così. Avvisami. Scusate, sono... Adesso avrò lui. Ah no. Ok. Oddio. Mi sembra tanto un film noir così. Ah, non posso correre. Nuvi. Con la fontana rotta. E Carol, la melusina amica.
Thank you for bringing us here, Monsieur Neuvilette. The court of Fontaine is truly incredible. There's so many things I've never seen or heard before.
I understand your excitement, but there's no need to thank me. Although I have responded to your wishes, it was not without personal interest. Melusine's special sight make them especially suited for joining the Maréchaussée Phantom. I'm certain you'll become an indispensable part of Fontaine's detective force.
I know, but I'm really glad to be of help. Not only can I repay you for your kindness, but also, it feels like my life has become a lot more meaningful.
But a meaningful life also comes with its risks.
It's definitely the safest to just stay in the village, but I want to see the outside world nonetheless. In truth, I've never really understood the purpose of my existence, or what I'm capable of contributing to this world. For almost 20 years, we've stayed in our village without finding any answers. That's why we wanted to leave our village and look for the meaning of our existence elsewhere.
Oh.
I understand your confusion. In fact, I feel the same way.
Amore.
I too came here for an answer to my questions about my own existence.
Really? Could you tell us what we should do to fit in as you did? The truth is, many people threw rocks at us today and told us to go back to our village. It hurt a lot when they hit me in the head, and I tried really hard not to cry.
Logically speaking, both time and effort are essential when different species attempt to peacefully coexist. It will be a difficult road ahead. Different identities and ways of thinking all contribute to strengthening the barrier between one another. Removing it will be no easy feat. There aren't many suggestions I can share, because just like you, I haven't fully integrated into this society. Despite my social status, I am still an outsider.
Oh, I see. Let's all do our best then.
Oh.
I'm confident that we'll find the meaning of our existence one day.
I believe in you, but you shouldn't lose sight of the difficulties ahead. If you run into any trouble, I suggest that you inform Vautrin, the captain of the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol.
Huh? Is he the person I met in the Palais Marmonia earlier?
Marmonia.
Yes? Do you have any concerns?
That stone-faced human. He didn't even bother to look at me when I tried talking to him. It felt like he wasn't interested in anything but work.
He is an earnest man. There will be plenty of opportunities to work together in the future, so please try to get along.
Aspetta, ma qua devo... Ok, mi ero dimenticata di una cosa. Dove sta andando? Ah, ok. Devo andare oltre. Baderico.
Hello. Can I help with anything?
Thanks, but no need.
Ah,
Oh,
ok. Ah, non era facile all'inizio magari avere queste melusine che facevano parte della garde, cose
hello.
varie.
I'm Carol, a Melazine. Is there anything you need help with?
Get away from here! I'm calling the guards!
Please, calm down. I don't mean to cause any harm.
Hard
Come
to say.
fanno ad avere paura di delle robe che sembrano dei cuccioli
Yeah.
parlanti?
We should probably stay away from these monsters. Haven't you realized? Strange incidents have been increasing ever since they came.
Why should we trust this species from who knows where anyway? I can't believe Neuvilette allowed them into the court of Fontaine just like that.
Exactly. That so-called Chief Justice even granted them official positions. Not only that, but they're now responsible for investigating cases as well.
Go away! Quit acting innocent!
Che devi
I'm
fare?
not leaving. I won't let you say bad stuff about him. We joined the Mare-Chaussee Phantom and solved lots
Ah,
and lots of cases.
un'organizzazione, ok.
We've never done anything wrong.
Solving cases? With Neuvilette in cahoots with you? You could have fabricated it all, and no one would know! So tell me, how can you guarantee that you Melazines aren't involved in anything that occurred recently?
Didn't I
Ribadisco.
tell you before? Don't go advertising if you're not a good talker.
Ah, il famoso.
Aside from spreading unjustified rumors, if you continue insulting members of the Mare-Chaussee Phantom, the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol has every right to subject you to
Non credo di aver
interrogation.
mai visto una petata
There have
probabilmente
indeed been an
forse
increase
sì,
in
boh, mi
cases
ricordo.
recently, perhaps due to the shifting currents of conspiracy, and I understand your concern. However, there's been no evidence pointing towards Melazines being involved.
Even the captain of the security patrol is on their side. Neuvilette's newly reformed police force is already corrupt to the core.
Vabbè, non c'è
How
nessun
can two
peggior
completely
solo di
different
chi non vuole
species
ascoltare.
possibly coexist?
You heard that?
Yeah. I don't understand. Why won't anyone believe us?
There have been rumors saying that you were born from calamity, and that you inherently bring danger to those around you. There are
Me.
countless negative rumors about you
Però-
floating around in Fontaine. It's near impossible for you to become a part of this society. Best if you give up before it's too late.
Monsieur Neuvilette said that we needed to put both time and effort in. I don't know how long it'll take, but I can at least try making my best effort. I still want to try a little harder. Thank you for bailing me out earlier.
Come ha fatto a togliersi la vita questa melusina? Era troppo
I won't
determinata.
be taking any more of your time. I painted a lot of flyers last night, so I have to stay and hand them out to
Segnati i
everyone.
volantini.
Give them to me.
You're not gonna take them away, right?
We'll hand them out together. The faster we get this done, the sooner we can head back.
Lui sembrava provarci, però. Questa strada la faccio praticamente ogni giorno ultimamente.
Monsieur Neuvilette, what's this?
Medals of Peace, awarded to you and Vautrin. Thank you for your continued dedication in the past 5 years. You've taken one small step forward in helping Melusines gain the trust of humans.
I think I'll pass.
Hey, don't say that. We wouldn't have made it this far without you. It won't be long before Melusines begin living peacefully with the humans. Just the thought of it makes me happy.
Don't keep your hopes up. We've barely scratched the surface. There's still a long way to go before that dream of yours comes true.
Sarà lunga.
You blockhead! Don't ruin the mood!
Vautrin brings up a good point. The trust humans have placed in you is still very fragile. Any small incident could undermine the hard work you put in. Please be on your guard for the next few days.
Yes, sir.
Okay, got it.
Esatto, fate i bravi, non fate cose.
Medal of Peace? Peace isn't going to give us back what's rightfully ours.
Are you sure we should do this? We're no match for Neuvilette, even with all our powers combined. What if...
Nah, not gonna happen. As long as he remains in his position, there's no chance he'd take us out personally. There are rules even he must comply with in the political sphere. Unless he wants to become an enemy of Fontaine. So quit worrying and just go ahead with it. I've already planned out the murder. Once we lay the blame on the Melusines as the person who brought them to the court of Fontaine, Neuvilette will be left with no excuse.
I guess you're right. Ugh. If he just left things the way they were, it never would have come to this. But he's forced our hand. Time to teach him a lesson.
Come cavolo ti permetti di dare una lezione a quello che è definito lo Iudex Supremo? Cioè non è che l'ha assunto qualcuno a caso, l'ha assunto il tuo Archon. Quindi neanche rispettano l'Archon.
Turn the murderer in!
Che cazzo di paura.
Melusines can't be trusted! That goes for Neuvilette too!
Peaceful coexistence? What a joke. Get out of the court of Fontaine and don't ever come back!
The results of the investigation are in, Captain Vautrin.
Go on.
There is no direct evidence, but reasonable inference indicates that the ones controlling the situation are supporters of the old regime, whose interests have been undermined by the reform. They tricked Miss Carroll into going to the crime scene and pressed charges against her. After that, they incited panic among the people in order to make Monsieur Neuvilette confess to his mistakes and yield up power. The guards were stopped by the enraged mob and couldn't intervene in time. Miss Carroll chose to sacrifice herself to pacify the situation.
And she called me a blockhead. A little investigation would have cleared things up. Why didn't she wait until we'd established the truth? She didn't have to prove her innocence like that.
The situation had rapidly escalated to a physical altercation between infuriated citizens and the guards. Miss Carroll might have thought there was no better plan.
That is indeed something she'd do.
Captain Vautrin, should I present these results to Monsieur Neuvilette right away?
There's no need. Notify the guards to restrict public access to all information.
Restrict access to... Wait, are you planning to...
There's something I've never told Carol. I had a little sister named Ilaria who passed away when I was very young.
Sorellina minore.
She's just like Carol in every possible way. Innocent, kind, always believing the best of people. People like her are the most vulnerable to deception and betrayal. From the moment I met Carol, I knew that she'd be easily manipulated by others. I kept a cold demeanor and tried lecturing her into giving up.
Looks like she was unfazed by that.
Yes. In fact, some of her spirit must have rubbed off on me instead. Because I too began working towards that pie-in-the-sky dream of hers. I should have known. Those cowards don't have the guts to confront Neuvilette. They even avoided causing trouble for me.
Vai da affrontare il giudice
We were
supremo.
after Carol all along.
Colpisci il debole.
You understand how I feel? Right now, there's only one thought on my mind. Only through bloodshed can their debt be repaid.
Oh.
I understand, but I'm certain Monsieur Neuvilette wouldn't accept that as a solution.
That's exactly why we need to keep this a secret. Give me the list of suspects. What happens after this has nothing to do with any of you. I will take responsibility for everything.
Non posso correre, vabbè, niente.
Did you know? They're hearing a major case today, and the criminal is Captain Vautrin of the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol. Apparently, he resorted to personal measures to seek revenge for Carol, and settled the score with the group that framed his friend. Hey, why aren't you saying anything?
I'm thinking. We should try our best to bail him out when the trial commences.
Bail him out? Why?
Shh, keep it down! Haven't you realized? Both Vautrin and Carol are Neuvillette's most trusted subordinates. After everything that happened to Carol, Neuvillette's guaranteed to do everything he can to keep Vautrin around. Besides, now that the old regime has been uprooted, Neuvillette's status is secure as can be. As long as we redirect public opinion, Neuvilette will be able to give Vautrin a reprieve.
Okay.
Vautrin sought vengeance for his friend for a valid cause. This represents the justice he upholds. Please think about it. If the same thing had happened to you, wouldn't you feel the same way he did? Yeah, that's right!
This whole thing started because of those despicable cowards who levied false accusations against Carol. How could Vautrin be declared guilty for seeking revenge?
Monsieur Neuvilette.
Mr. Vautrin is innocent! He's innocent!
Order! I acknowledge your arguments. Vautrin, your revenge could be seen as a form of justice. I understand your decision. Which is why I cannot help but feel regret.
Puoi non venire con lo smentito su. Devo toglierlo. È troppo alto.
Personal justice does not equate to justice as defined by the law. To execute your plan for revenge, you abused your authority and conducted informal executions.
Ah sì, lo sento solo io allora. Ah, meno male. No, io sto piangendo comunque, dai.
What?
That can't be! Monsieur Neuvilette, please give this a little more thought. He has done so much for Fontaine.
Allora, qualcuno, non si sapeva ancora chi, ha mandato una lettera minatoria a una melusina. Quando Neuvilette l'ha portata a Fontaine 400 anni fa, la gente non andava bene perché ma sono brutte, sono dei mostri, e ma casualmente sono arrivate, c'è un casino, insomma hanno voluto mettere un tema abbastanza importante dentro qui, che poi io ribadisco che non so come fanno ad aver paura dei cuccioli parlanti, però ok, va bene, lo capisco. E adesso stiamo rivivendo i ricordi di quando lui ha perso Carol, che è stata una delle prime melusine ad arrivare, e allo stesso tempo ha dovuto solo che si è fatta ammazzare perché era stata accusata ingiustamente di un omicidio, e quindi pur di calmare le acque lei ha deciso di sì, ok, ma qua intendo, dai. E adesso c'è Vautrin che si era molto affezionato a questa melusina. Vautrin è un altro amico di Neuvilette che era uno dei capi umano, quello che è stato appena, adesso te lo faccio vedere.
Vautrin, My friend. Is there anything else you want to say?
Neuvilette, what have I done to deserve this? I've closely followed every one of your orders. Can't you see? Everyone in this room believes that I'm innocent.
Lui ha vendicato questa Carol, questa Melusina, perché a volte ricordava sua sorella minore e quindi quando ha saputo della sua morte è andato a farsi vendetta da solo. Neuvilette allora le ha detto che è colpevole perché non puoi farti giustizia da solo, ok? Ci sono delle regole da seguire, per quanto comunque lui stia soffrendo a fare sta cosa. E solo che anche Wriothesley adesso è arrabbiato con lui. E Neuvilette, mio Dio.
Is this what justice means to you? Answer me, Neuvilette!
E tutti qua pensavano che fosse Wriothesley, invece no. Ci hanno inculato così, non è Wriothesley. Non è Wriothesley a insegnargli questa cosa.
Order. Since there have been no further objections, the Oratrice will now deliver the final verdict regarding the charges against Mr. Vautrin.
Non ha questa voce così
According to the judgment of
matura.
the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal, Mr. Vautrin will be declared guilty.
Goodbye, Monsieur Neuvilette.
This all happened because of Carol's naive ideas.
How can different species peacefully coexist anyway?
Non preoccuparti, vai pure.
What's wrong? Are you not feeling well?
Apologies, it seems like my memories got the better of me. I tried my best to suppress the power of Hydro
Cerca di
within
non
myself.
piangere troppo.
It seems like it still caused the emotions within the fountain of Lucine to boil over. Due to my negligence, the overflow of emotions and memories must have affected you as well. Are you all right?
Mamma mia. Sì. Non sto bene, no, non è vero, è una menzogna, non sto bene, sto piangendo. Yuki sarebbe con le lacrime agli occhi adesso. Starebbe piangendo in questo momento, cosa tu come? Lì nell'angolo, lì, c'è cespugli.
Wow. The Hydro Dragon is more powerful than Paimon thought. Anyways, the last time we came here, the traveler only heard voices from the Fountain of Lucine. No emotions boiling over or anything.
It is as you said. This might be because I am different. It is not only the fountain. I can sense emotions from all waters in Fontaine. Rivers, lakes, and even the rain.
That sounds awesome!
Oddio.
But I rarely ever do anything like this. Emotions carried by water are always chaotic and disconnected. As an outsider, having my... Which ones?
Mi spiace che hai dovuto
That's
farlo.
fine. I prefer not to speak of those memories. That does not mean I am deliberately hiding them.
Non so, fa male.
It was a coincidence, but perhaps it is a good thing that you saw everything in that form. You should now understand why I believe there to be a conspiracy behind all this.
No, su questa
These two
no,
cases
allora ha
are much
ragione.
too similar.
In effetti sì.
I felt like I needed to do something.
Almeno controllare effettivamente.
Paimon's starting to lose track of what you're saying. Don't leave Paimon out of the conversation. Paimon wants to help too.
Then let us get back to the point. While I was investigating the fountain, I discovered something strange. I did not sense too much hatred towards me within its accumulated emotions. However, I did find some resentment directed towards Chiara. If I remember correctly, it seemed to be related to a smuggling case. I don't know what caused this to happen, but it It seems like there won't be a shortcut to
In
finding
caso di
the organization
contrabbando,
that may
l'abbiamo
be...
letto.
Oh, didn't we read about that in one of the documents?
You've read about it? In that case, the resentment should have come from that incident.
Huh? What are you doing here?
Ciao,
I
Nadia.
was just about to look for you at the Palais Mermonia.
È arrivata un'aria fresca. Ciao.
Yeah, nice to see you again. Is there something we can help with?
Anche te respira piano.
I've heard some things, but I'm not purposely asking around or anything. Don't worry. Rumors are abroad that someone's scheming against Melusines, and that you're investigating the case. So I told the Spina di Rosula to keep an eye out for leads. We've had unfamiliar faces showing themselves at the Fleuve Cendre lately.
Stanno tutti
Maybe
aiutando,
you'll
che
find the
carini.
suspects among them.
Thank you. Where did you hear about all this?
The Chief Justice out on investigation, accompanied by the Traveler from afar. No matter how you conceal your whereabouts, there will be countless eyes watching you.
A parte del Traveler. Avete visto? Neuvilette.
You talked to Kiara, but didn't ask her to keep things secret. People curious to know asked around for information, then it was only a matter of time before word of the threatening letter spread all across Fontaine.
So that's what Charlotte meant.
Indeed. I did not expect that this could be kept hidden for too long, but the rumors still spread faster than I imagined.
You know, it could be because you attract more attention than you think. Anyway, any progress with the investigation?
The suspects who threatened Kiara might have to do with a certain smuggling case, but it is still uncertain if there is in fact another party behind all this. We are planning to return to the Palais Mermonia to revisit some details and identify the senders of that threatening letter.
All right, then I'll round up the Spina di Rosula and follow up on their progress.
Che carini.
Wait for my word. Ta-ta!
Buonasera Loreto, sto piangendo. Lo so, questa... Ah. Troppo.
Neuvilette, do you think there'll be any problems now that the word is out?
Un po'. Di solito.
I have already considered that possibility, and I do not think that there will be any. As
È
a matter
una
of
delle
fact,
melusine...
once the word gets
Allora,
out,
non
no
sono le
one would
melusine
dare to harm
reali, sono
Kiara
quelle
in
specie
broad
di
daylight.
cuccioli saltellanti qui che si trovano in giro a Fontaine. È stata minacciata e lui vuole scoprire
What
che
is more
perché.
important is how the case is perceived by the
Perché
public.
forse la stanno usando per arrivare a
400 years
lui.
ago, they chose to side with the old regime and direct their resentment towards the Melusines. I hope the same won't happen again. Let us head back to the Palais.
Palais. Devo imparare le cose, dire le cose belle.
Strange. What are these people doing out on the streets so late at night? Did something happen? Let's take a look around.
Have you heard? Someone's plotting against a Melusine. This is 100% the truth. Even the Chief Justice is investigating in person.
What? That's it. Who's been threatening Melusines? Show yourself!
È bello che c'è una differenza. Adesso loro non vogliono che si minaccino le melusine. Ma nel passato, quando Neuvilette l'ha portata a Fontaine, loro hanno detto che alcune lanciavano le pietre, avevano paura che loro fossero in realtà portatrici di una catastrofe. Questi cosi, ok? La melusina qui su Genshin è quella cosa che sembra un cucciolo. Avevano paura di queste cosine, va bene.
Our enemies are lurking in the shadows and won't easily reveal themselves. But no amount of hiding will keep us from finding them.
Però il sogno di Carol si è
what I wanted to
avverato.
say.
È
The
incredibile.
guards have already begun to take action. We can't just stand by and watch. Think about how much we owe them. Now that they're in danger, how can we just sit back and do nothing?
Everyone, please stay alert to your surroundings from now on. If you see any suspicious persons, report them to the guards immediately.
Guarda adesso.
It feels like you've been following me this whole time. Did something happen?
We were informed that.
Nope. We just finished our shifts and happened to be strolling by.
La vogliono
Have you had dinner
proteggere.
yet? Why don't we check out the new items at the dessert shop together?
Che carina.
This isn't a good time to be out and about.
Come on. Don't act tough. I bet you're hungry too.
All right. Let's go buy a cake or something.
You shouldn't ever skip meals, especially if you have another shift scheduled for later.
I heard even Neuvillette's keeping an eye on the situation. This is the perfect chance to get promoted. We gotta make sure we give it all we've got.
Comprendo.
Seriously? Were you planning to shirk your duties if Neuvilette wasn't
Ha ragione
involved?
anche lui. Niente
Relax,
promozione
I
per
was
te.
just playing. We've worked together for years now. If something happened to them, I'd be haunted by regret for the rest of my life.
That's more like it. We
È
should stand
incredibile,
guard
il
until the
sacrificio
criminal
di
has been
Carol,
caught.
quella cosa lì ha permesso.
Instead, you cowards! Have you heard? Even the special patrol came to help.
Shh! Look! Isn't that Neuvilette? I think he's looking at us.
Più forte.
Looks like there's nothing to worry about.
This is truly wonderful.
So, wanna go over and say hi?
No, I should stay where I am. My appearance could give rise to unnecessary commotion. Let us stick to our plan and return to the Palais Marmonia. The faster we uncover the
Potrebbe
truth,
dirlo
the better.
ancora, è bellissimo come lo dici, Palais. Io non riesco a pronunciarlo come lo pronunci tu. Mi devo un attimo ripigliare, prima ero sull'orlo. Ero sull'orlo. Ho pianto per poche quest in Genshin, per poche quest. Cioè, in realtà no. Però però posso contarle per quanti ne ho pianti. Questo potrebbe essere uno di quelli. Eccolo. Il contrabbando qua.
The smuggling case was solved by the joint forces of the guards and the Maréchaussée Phantom. This is the
Ma
one.
no, guarda che c'è disegnato la Melusi. Che bello!
The list of involved suspects should be... Ah, found it.
What does it say?
The principal offenders Domenico, Inica, Yuna, and others have been caught. They have been sent to the fortress of Meropide following trial.
Andiamo al
Those
forte.
with close
Andiamo al
connections or
forte.
mutual interests with the offenders but who did not
Gli
participate
scarabocchi,
in the
che
case will
scarabocchi?
not stand
Credo che
trial.
fosse un...
Among them,
il loro
surveillance
timbrino.
of Essan has ceased on account of his good behavior. All other personnel remain on our watch list.
So many names. Is the one who sent that threatening letter to Kiara on the list?
Yes, there is something suspicious about Essan, to be precise.
Same.
It seems like he's closely related to the core members of the smuggling case, and he moves around without much restriction.
Monsieur Neuvilette, someone claiming to be from the Spina Durasula just checked in with us.
Niente, Navia
He
c'ha...
said, and I quote, "We have located the suspect. They're chatting at the cafe." Huh? How did Navia find them so quickly? We've only just figured out the suspect's name.
Navia c'ha le...
I too am perplexed. The cafe isn't too far from here. We should head over and take a look.
Su un libro della biblioteca. No, è un documento ufficiale della corte. Prego. Anche se sembra un libro della biblioteca, è un documento ufficiale della corte. Poi non è vero che la caffetteria non è molto distante, devono scendere un piano con l'ascensore. E non è un piano piccolo. Madonna, quanto figo. Ah no, è davvero Navi, ok, figo. Avevo paura, forse qualcun altro. Oddio, che tensione.
Hey, Navia, we're here. Whoa! Check out all these people. Hey there. Are you Navia's friends too?
These are the people who have had recent dealings at the Maréchaussée Phantom. They're usually hidden in the Fleuve Cendre, but I sent for someone to invite them over.
Okay.
Invite them over?
Exactly. Now, I heard there's great coffee here, and so I asked them if they'd like to come and have some.
Yeah, it's our pleasure to be guests of the Spina di Rosula.
Come li ha convinti? A bastonate?
I've wanted to have a meetup like this for ages.
Something
Come li ha convinti a bastonate? Sui calcagni.
but oh well. Let's get back to business. Is there anyone called Essan here?
Yes, that's me.
You're Essa?
Yes, yes, Monsieur Neuvilette.
Tac, legnate, esatto,
Did
proprio
you
così.
write that threatening letter to Chiara?
Ti consiglio di dire
I did, but I was just following orders.
di chi?
Orders from whom?
Domenico, he was my boss. I couldn't disobey his orders.
Domenico. Where is he now?
In the fortress of Meropide.
Well, I'm afraid even the Spina would have trouble looking into that place.
Oh, non ti
Looks like you'll
preoccupare,
have to make
noi
the trip yourselves. This was as much as I could do.
conosciamo il
You've done more than
carceriere.
enough. I am extremely grateful for your help.
Leave the formalities for later. You should find Domenico first. If you really is the
Domenico,
one setting up the
esatto.
conspiracy, it'd be best if he's exposed as soon as possible.
All right then. Let's head to the fortress right now.
Ginny, forse ha deciso che vuole fare male? Andiamo dal carceriere, rifacciamoci belli. Perché come ci facciamo belli per lui, ci facciamo belli anche per il carceriere, ovviamente. Oh no, l'ufficio del duca, assolutamente l'ufficio del duca. Oh, eccolo lì.
Monsieur Neuvilette?
Guarda che bell'uomo, guardalo.
Welcome to the fortress of Meropide, dear esteemed guests.
We're back. Oh, and a greeting from none other than the Duke himself. Guess we made a name for ourselves at this place.
Abbiamo incontrato
This
3 giorni
isn't
fa.
anything new. I figured you had important matters to discuss when the two of you, not to mention the Chief
Un
Justice, showed
attimo
up.
che non leggo un cazzo. Aspetta, fermo. Si sono appannati di colpo tutto. No, perché appannati c'era proprio lo sporco proprio in mezzo, non vedevo niente. Ok. Meglio. Guarda, era una cosa. E se io senza occhiali vedo sporcato, io non. Sono miope.
Let's assume we've gone through the pleasantries and cut right to the chase.
Grazie, buon uomo. Bello lui. Ah, mi scatta la spalla. Aiuto.
I do remember a thing or two about Domenico. He once attempted to round up the other inmates
Posso
and
ammirare la
instigate a
bellezza di
protest.
tutti e due.
What does this guy think he is? Someone hopes nothing came of it.
He once attempted to, I said, meaning that it was over before it even started.
Ci ha provato
Now he's
addirittura.
threatening Melazines, is he? To be honest, Domenico doesn't seem like much of a conspirator. The fact that the three of you bothered to personally investigate raises a flag.
Che voi tre.
Is there something else going on behind the scenes here?
He's got the same concerns we do.
Certo.
I am concerned about this incident because something similar has occurred in the past. I wish to meet Domenico in person and have my questions answered.
That's an easy one. Let me think. I think he's at...
Did I hear someone say Melazine? What happened?
Sì, Twin. Bello, amore di mamma. Tu devi venire a casa anche tu. Troppi idol ultimamente voglio. Io ero abbastanza omogenea. Così adesso tutti gli idol sto volendo. Voglio anche quest'uomo di Crio, ma non si sa se arriva perché ho preso l'altro, quindi
Yeah, and we're
secondo me mi fa un po' marameo Wrio.
seems to be imprisoned here.
Really? Is Chiara gonna be okay?
Sì, sì.
There's no need to worry. Clarand is protecting her as we speak.
Well, that's great. But if the criminal's still... Is there anything you can do about this?
Ah, head nurse. Do you require me to personally deal with the criminal?
Sì, sì.
Wriothesley.
No.
Okay, I get it. I'll bring Domenico to you. That's your only demand, correct?
Think of it as more of a humble request. I'm here on my own accord, not to formally transfer a criminal for trial. I urge you to set aside any concerns. Thanks for the trouble. Consider me in your debt.
Whoa. If Paimon were you here, here, Chris? Paimon would take this chance to ask for something really important.
Well, were I still a criminal, I'd probably ask for a lighter sentence. But I'm sure Monsieur Neuvilette would reject that.
Mamma mia.
But enough jokes. I'll look for Domenico and bring him to you. Make yourselves at home. Our dear head nurse has mentioned you quite a few times, so I'm sure she has a lot to say.
Please come with me to the infirmary.
No, ti prego. No, non portarmi di nuovo lì.
And watch your step. There's some pretty dark areas, so make sure you don't trip over anything.
Now that I think about it, I can leave this place soon. Huh?
Io avrei aspettato però nell'ufficio, sinceramente, che in infermeria. Bada.
Please rest here for a moment. Oh, and would anyone like anything to drink?
Acqua, per lui. Per me qualsiasi altra cosa.
Not that thirsty, but thanks anyway.
Thirst is a warning sign that you're dehydrated, which means you have to drink up even before that. I'll bring you some tea. I'm sure you'll have a lot to talk about.
Typical Sijun. Concerned about everyone's health as always.
È un'infermiera.
Why aren't you two saying anything?
Criminale che mi ha incontrato prima, sì.
You
Non l'ho
noticed them
visti.
too. The badges they wore on their chests looked quite
Non
familiar.
ho proprio guardato, bravissimi. Io stavo andando.
Familiar? Paimon didn't even realize they were
Io ero
wearing
come
them.
Paimon, stavo guardando le farfalle, stavo guardando Neuvilette io.
That's not a bad idea. I will stay here and wait for news from you.
Esatto, se andiamo con te si mettono subito. Sei bello. Io stavo a guardare te, io mica avevo visto che c'erano dei criminali con delle mostrine sopra il petto. Ma chi li ha visti? Ma avete gli occhi di falco. Io li avevo accecati dalla tua bellezza. Scusate, adesso la smetto. Non ho niente a dire. Eccoli.
Anything you need?
Ah, ok, adesso la vedo.
Oh, this? Are you interested in joining the Mutual Aid Network?
Una rete di mutuo soccorso, scusami.
We have a very long history, going back as far as 400 years ago.
Okay.
We have never had many members throughout our history, nor do we have much of a reputation, but everyone treats each other like family. Helping each other is our purpose. At the same time, we seek to maintain just dealings as much as possible.
Sounds like a pretty neat organization.
All we want is to defend ourselves. None of us have ever committed serious crimes, and we're not especially powerful either.
Ah, ok.
We're at a natural
Ce la sono fatti
disadvantage here
qui
in the
dentro
fortress.
per fare.
But people won't give us a hard time if we stick together.
Ok.
Interested in joining the Mutual Aid Network?
No.
If you'd like to learn more, here's our flyer.
Grazie. Aiutatevi a vicenda, fate tutto il possibile per promuovere la giustizia. Non opponetevi al giusto giudizio. Questi sono i 3 principi della rete di mutuo soccorso. Nome di merda, però. Però ok. Tutti possono aderire alla discussione gratuita. Se mi devi pure pagare per farmi aiutare. Vabbè. Non ci sono eventi di gruppo obbligatori. La rete di mutuo soccorso incoraggia i soci a fare quello che possono, tra cui pulire, fare esercizio fisico, dare ripetizioni, studiare e quant'altro. Ma io faccio già questa cosa. La speranza è che durante la loro permanenza a Forte Meropid tutti i membri della rete di mutuo soccorso riflettono sui crimini che hanno commesso, si incoraggino a vicenda, si sostengono e accolgono insieme il futuro.
Our slogan may
Vabbè,
have
non
evolved
c'entra
over
le
the
ripetizioni.
centuries, but our goal has remained unchanged.
Hanno cambiato pure lo
This
slogan.
book is for you. You're welcome to come and sign up anytime.
Va bene, perché c'è la voce da anziano, però? Però chiedo.
You two look kind of familiar. It's the symbol of the Mutual Aid Network designed by our first president. From what I've heard, it's based on something called a Medal of Peace. I've never seen one of those medals for myself, though.
Una certa medaglia della pace. Oh, la medaglietta di Vautrin che aveva dato Neuvilette a Vautrin è la cosa. Oh.
The first president of our network was an amazing person. Powerful as he was, he never used his strength against anyone.
Ah, sì?
All of us have a lot of respect for him.
Chi è? Aspetta qua.
Gathered enough information. Let's head back and talk to Neuvilette.
Neuvilette.
Did you manage to gather any intel?
The people who wore the badges belong to an organization called the Mutual Aid Network. According to them, the badge's design was inspired by the Medal of Peace. Have you seen any of those before?
I personally crafted 2 of them myself. They were awarded to Carol and Vautrin. Carol's medal was destroyed in a fire. The only one that remained should belong to Vautrin.
Oh, so the network was inspired by...
Monsieur Neuvilette, His Grace has requested your presence in his office. He's found Domenico.
All right. Let us talk to him first and get to the bottom of this situation.
Quando sapremo che la quest è arrivata alla fine, quando entreremo nel domain finale dove ci sarà la battaglia con il personaggio in trial. Ormai è così, è prassi. Poi il dungeon può durare tot. Ma ehi, io Neuvilette la quest la volevo portare.
Allow me to introduce this fine gentleman, Domenico. Why don't you explain everything to him?
Neuvilette?
E chi ti aspettavi?
What do you want? What are you gonna do? Kill me?
Calm down. I merely want to ask you a few questions. Was it your idea to send that letter to a Melusine? Hassan has already confessed, so there really isn't any need to keep hiding.
Oh, that idiot! I can't believe I trusted him.
Let me ask this another way. It was your idea to send that letter, correct?
Yes.
Who is pulling your strings?
What? You're not trying to frame me for something I haven't done, are you?
It's best if you realize the gravity of your situation. The Chief Justice of Fontaine has been personally investigating your case. I assume your previous attempt to incite unrest at the Fortress of Meripede has something to do with this as well.
I admit I acted on impulse. I'll tell you the truth. But before that, you must ensure my safety.
Sei con il
I can do
Duca.
that. You see, we're all reasonable people here.
I only intended to do some small business at first. Someone contacted me about delivering some goods and promised me a generous sum of more in return. After making a few trips, I was suddenly approached by the Marechaussee Phantom. They accused me of smuggling prohibited items, and I was put on trial. But I refused to accept any of that. The ignorant can be rightfully absolved from guilt, right? Well, I suspect that someone got me locked up here so they could get their hands on my goods.
And then you decided to take revenge on the Melusines?
L'ignoranza non è una scusa.
My initial target was Neuvilette. Everyone in the Fortress of Meripede was declared guilty by him after all. So they must more or less hold a grudge against him, right?
Capito.
If I could get them to strike back.
Capito? Ma tutti sono qui per colpa di Neuvilette perché lui i giudici sono stati giudicati colpevoli. Sì, non è solo lui che dà la sentenza, la dà anche la bilancia, la cardinale. Però nessuno butta giù l'opera, a quanto pare.
But for some reason, no one wanted to team up with me. That mutual aid network in particular.
È un
What did those nobodies even
dispositivo
gain from trying to challenge me?
che si
Seriously.
chiama, oddio, adesso te lo leggo perché Oratrice mécanique d'analyse cardinale, ed è un dispositivo che praticamente insieme a Neuvilette dà il verdetto finale della sentenza, ed è alimentata dalle visto ce l'ho fatta, però ho dovuto leggerlo, quindi non sono brava. Lo dà insieme a Neuvilette e quindi devono ed è alimentato dalle emozioni delle persone di Fontaine, perché è collegato all'Arcon, eccetera eccetera, e sta all'opera dove c'è anche il tribunale, dove appunto Neuvilette fa fa i processi. Tutti se la prendono con Neuvilette, però nessuno ha ancora distrutto un meccanismo fatto dall'Arcon. Va bene, coerenza.
In the end, I had to redirect my focus onto Melazines to salvage things. I recall that Kiara was the one who confiscated my goods for inspection, so I asked one of the more approachable guards to send a letter, claiming that I meant to contact my family. But the letter was in fact addressed to Essa. I requested that he write a threat letter to Kiara and force her to resign from the Maréchaussée Phantom.
Am I to assume that the claims you've made are your own thoughts? Have you been in contact with any suspicious people recently?
No.
Is it true that all members involved in the smuggling scandal have been caught?
Yes. And that's all I know.
Sigewinne, please take him back to the detention center. I'll deal with him later.
Lo picchia adesso. Off screen. Stish.
So, Monsieur Neuvilette, you were concerned that there might be a shadowy faction looking to capitalize on the delicate situation with the Melazines to stir up greater chaos?
Yes. I experienced a similar incident in the past, so I had to be prepared for any possibility.
Beh, meglio se non è così.
And how long ago was this incident?
More than 400 years.
You might be overthinking this. Time can change a lot of things. Everything's different now.
What do you mean?
400 years ago, you and the Melazines you brought to Fontaine were the outliers in society. But in the present day, if someone were to threaten the safety of the Melazines, people wouldn't just sit back and do nothing. I trust that they would make different choices from before.
That's right! We saw lots of people standing up for Melazines on our way back to the Palais Mermonia.
Monsieur Neuvilette, the Melazines are a species you introduced to Fontaine. How the public treats them is also reflective of their attitude towards you. When people refused to place their trust in Melazines, it was because they were still on the fence about you, their unfamiliar Chief Justice. For almost 500 years, you've conducted every trial with impartiality. You made the right judgment each time, regardless of whatever nonsense went on. People no longer have any reservations about you, and even consider you a symbol of the law. Right now, your every decision will impact all of Fontaine. In other words, you've gradually transformed the whole nation.
Credo che Neuvilette sia stato ha subito veramente un trauma 400 anni fa. Cioè ha perso una Melusine che si è tolta la vita per dimostrare la sua innocenza, e ha dovuto condannare il suo amico che era andato a vendicare sta Melusina. Ha subito un trauma particolarmente grande, quindi ci sta che adesso, appena visto che qualcuno stava già cercando, appena Melusina ha ricevuto una lettera minatoria, lui si è rizzato un attimo e ha detto no, evitiamo. Solo che effettivamente le cose in 400 anni, per lui che è un drago, forse non sono neanche tanti. Come gli ha detto giustamente Wriothesley, sì, però frate, mi scusi, Fury, non posso, mi dispiace, sto facendo la frate. E giustamente, come dici tu, Wriothesley gli ha detto, oh, è successo 400 anni fa, la gente è cambiata, le cose sono cambiate, le Melusine non sono più viste come una minaccia, fanno parte della società come ne fai parte tu.
Paimon gets it now. No wonder no one wanted to join forces with Domenico.
I am undeserving of such high compliments. From my perspective, I have simply been fulfilling my duties. It isn't anything special or worthy of praise. I'm simply fulfilling the promises I've made and searching for answers through my judgments. It is unnecessary to hold me in such high regard. The complexity of human emotions and willpower far exceed those of mine. As a matter of fact, I believe that you are the ones who deserve my respect.
There's no need to be so modest. The current state of affairs says it all. You're no longer that outsider you were before. Even if you wished to investigate something on your own, many would take the initiative to lend you a hand. I must say that you've made a fair point. Thank you for clearing my doubts. Now that the case has been settled, I should get going.
Huh? You're leaving?
And so soon, too? Why not stay for a cup of tea?
Thank you for the offer, but I know how this place works all too well. While some are here to redeem themselves, there will inevitably be those who harbor resentment towards me. The less time I spend here, the better. My presence could very well result in an unwanted disturbance. In that case, I'll have to insist. I still have 2 more things to say. Please, go ahead. The first is about the guard who helped Domenico send that letter.
Okay.
I know of what you speak. The guard was indeed deployed from the Palais Memoria's staff. However, as I mentioned earlier, I visited today on personal business. Well, that makes things a lot easier. Hey now, don't let your imagination run wild. Those from up there have a tendency to sympathize with others. However, down here, such thoughts will put you at high risk. I'll have a chat with the guard and remind him to take precautions in the future. I see no issues with that.
Great! That's one thing out of the way. What's the other thing you wanted to say?
The other thing was born from my own sense of curiosity. Now, I've heard that you investigated the mutual aid network.
Yep. Neuvilette thought their badges looked familiar.
I noticed the small gang as well when I first took over the fortress of Meripede. They were not great in number, but every member always made sure to stand up for what was right. I've looked into their founder, Vautrin, who once stood trial and was sentenced to imprisonment in the fortress. According to existing documentation, Vautrin remained disciplined throughout his imprisonment. He had never once engaged in physical or verbal aggression. In other words, how he presented himself in prison was very different from his behavior in court. What?
Non odia Neuvilette.
During his trial, I could sense that his feelings were complicated. He appeared to be full of resentment. Perhaps he had been putting on an act.
An act?
Neuvilette and Vautrin had a close relationship as superior and subordinate. Vautrin must have known that the Chief Justice would make an impartial judgment. Thus, the more resentment he displayed, the clearer it would be to those present that you were upholding justice. And to those who had been sitting on the fence, Vautrin's act was a very meaningful one.
Ma alla fine I suoi amici hanno veramente cambiato le cose.
Does anyone else have anything to say? Now's your chance.
I don't have anything to say. Apart from expressing my gratitude, that is. Well then, let us head back. No need to see us off. Please, take care.
Ma assolutamente, tornerò a vederti, mio amor. Perché sono... Ah.
That trial is something I rarely bring up in conversation, but I have always felt deep regret
E quando mai non
for what
provi
happened to
dimostro
both Carol
qualcosa?
and
Sei
Vautrin.
troppo puro, sei troppo
The words
dolce.
he spoke in court often replay in my mind, as if urging me on to do something.
Posso tenerti la mano?
Wriothesley said he never resented you, right? Isn't that a good thing?
I believe I now understand what he wanted to tell me. I feel conflicted about those words. How should I describe it? Surprise, relief, fear, and regret. But this blend of emotions has led me to finally understand some things. I would like to hear your thoughts too.
Certo.
What do you think of me?
Paimon agrees with everything Wriothesley said.
Che sei un uomo bellissimo.
As Chief Justice, every single one of your trials makes an impact on Fontaine. What do you think, Traveler? Hey! comments?
What I really think is every trial you've ever judged has left its impression on you. And that's what makes you who you are today.
Con Neuvilette parliamo. Io con Cina ho fatto totonk perché sentire la voce di Lumina è bellissima, non la sentiamo così poco purtroppo, e quindi forse la linea che separa lui e gli umani ha già iniziato a sbellirsi.
That is indeed a reasonable assumption. As I said, I find it difficult to express my emotions because I cannot fully understand myself.
Ti posso
But I trust
abbracciare.
your judgment. Since some time ago, I have begun to notice the changes that have occurred upon my person.
Allora te lo dico. Lui è il drago di Hydro, perché ogni nazione c'ha il suo sovrano, c'ha il suo drago sovrano. Lui è quello, ok? L'avevamo capito tutti, perché ogni volta che lui si sente triste comincia a piovere. Ti dico solo questo.
These changes were not due to any specific occurrence, but emerged as a result of time itself. I will try to contemplate this further. Thank you both.
Ma ti posso abbracciare? Voglio abbracciarlo quest'uomo.
Huh? It's raining! Oh no! Paimon forgot to bring an umbrella! Come on, let's hurry!
Non lo portiamo mai l'ombrello.
It's raining again? I've had enough of this weather.
There go my travel plans.
Did you read the news this morning? Quick, put away everything on the clothesline.
When is this rain going to stop?
Hydro Dragon, don't cry!
They're planning to reanimate the monster. We have to report this to the Chief Justice.
The Fortress of Meripede. It's a good place for me.
No, dai, questo fa ancora più male.
He owes me so many answers.
Neuvilette? You could say he's the real symbol of Fontaine's justice.
Watch him closely. He could be trouble.
How can two completely different species possibly coexist?
Who's been threatening Melazines? Show yourself!
You will see much in the human world, from the delightful to the depressing. And one day, when you have dwelt among humanity long enough, you will be placed to bring judgment over all as a spokesperson for Fontaine's past.
Good morning, Monsieur Neuvilette! The rainy season's almost over! The skies are supposed to clear in a few days!
I hope you find time to enjoy the sunny days ahead.
No, dai, no. No, dai, questo è buono. Ce l'hanno fatta, che riesce a farmi piangere.
Is the matter resolved?
Yep, we found the person who sent that threatening letter. Wriothesley said he'd keep a close eye on him, so the Melazines should be safe now.
No, ma sto piangendo veramente.
Oh,
Sto
that's
scherzando.
wonderful.
Fermi. No, l'ho sentito tantissimo. L'ho sentito troppo. Aiuto. Mamma mia. No, dai, no. Sto bene, adesso mi ripiglio. È che non me lo aspettavo. Il sentirsi costantemente, Madonna santa. Vedete che ho fatto bene a pullare su di lui. Quindi niente domain, niente combattimenti. E sono io, mi scuso per tutto.
Yeah, you didn't drag us in. We got involved of our own accord.
By the way, where's Kiara?
Dov'è la...
At the Palais Marmonia. More than 50 people
in
offered to
50 per una
Some
melusina.
even hid
Per
within the
una
bushes to
lettera
look out for
minatoria.
I was worried that the excess of protection would make her feel uneasy. So I asked her to stay inside the Palais. It's very safe in there.
What a relief.
Well, now it looks like the dust has finally settled. To celebrate this joyous occasion, Monsieur
Ti prego,
Neuvilette,
dalle un'intervista a sta povera donna, poveretta. Una.
That's not how you celebrate.
I will consider it.
Non è un no. Non è un no.
Of course. My schedule is full for the following weeks, but I should be available next month. Come up with questions during the intervening days, and I will answer them to the best of my ability.
Carino. Oh, no, adesso mi muore. Sono io. Charlotte, sono io.
Yes! Thank you so much, Monsieur!
Now, if you'll excuse me, I must head back to the Palais and issue a communique to publicize our investigation results. I hope it will assuage the concerns of all.
Perché ho Jolie? E avevo messo lui, quest'uomo bello. Cioè, anche Jolie è bello. Jolie è stato il mio secondo 5 stelle, l'ho pure... ce l'ho pure... C2. Niente domain. Ce l'ho C2, sì. Perché mi viene sempre da dire C3, che non è vero. Dov'è? Ah, nel nostro ufficio, ok. La porta si apre da sola, perfetto. Perché stavo premendo quadrato. Guardala che è uno zucchero filato, guardalo, si è addormentata in piedi, bravissima. Io non ci riesco. È un cavallo.
Kiara?
Monsieur Neuvilette? Sorry, I accidentally fell asleep.
Ha notato.
It's quite all right. I'm here to tell you that we have caught the sender of that threatening letter. You're safe now.
Thank you, Monsieur. And thank you too, Traveler and Big Sis Paimon. Everyone's been so nice to me, so I've always felt really safe.
Sì, infatti questa cosa mi fa ridere. Erano mezza fontaine, era preoccupatissima. Lei stava fresca come una rosa, poi diceva: ah, ma tanto sono tranquilla, c'ho il Neuvilette e c'ho gli psichiatri che mi proteggono. Perché dovrei essere preoccupata? Cioè, lei stava fresca come una rosa. Lui stava subendo i traumi e lei stava a dormire.
Do you remember Domenico? He was the sender of that letter.
Let me think.
E neanche si ricordava che era
My
sto
memory
tizio,
isn't that
perfetto.
good, so I easily forget things. By the way, I saw Carol in my dreams just now. Where's she gone, by the way? I haven't seen her in a long time. In my dream, she looked really happy. She held my hand and said, Kiara, our dreams have finally come true. I can't remember what our dreams were anymore, and I don't know why. But I felt really happy too.
I can sense your joy. It is indeed a delightful moment.
Oh.
Monsieur Neuvilette, are you happy too?
Fuori c'è il sole, quindi
I
sì.
almost forgot. Am I allowed to go out now?
Rimasta qui
I promised to
dentro.
model for Alov.
Of course. Off you go.
See you next time, Monsieur Traveler and Big Sis Paimon.
See you next time.
Così? Grazie per il 60 primo, Neuvilette. Quante ne ho? Ah, giusto per farmi idea di quanto sono dipinti. Ci sono 21 dipinti. Lasciamo pure 10 giusto per vedere. Uno solo. Non li faccio tutti i 20, me li voglio tenere un pochino. Dai, facciamolo. Un pool tattico. Madonna, per un attimo questo fosse giallo mi sta venendo. No, salta. Che rabbia mi fa questo catalyst. Che rabbia. Boh. Di qua. Un viola anche qui. Ah, non c'è il C6 Xinyan. Ok, sono contenta. Allora, 60. Ok. Yeah! Mi è uscito 5 stelle a che piti. Voglio praticamente quasi recuperare tutti. A posto. Ah no, io mi fermo, non faccio più niente. Siete pazzi. A proposito dell'aquila favonia. Allora, prima. Oh, ho finito Xinyan. Ho finito Xinyan. Mi è molto felice. Allora, data a lei l'aquila favonia, sì? Ok. Che è anche livello 70. Potenzia. Sì, mi lo fai selezionare? Grazie. Che bella che è. Speravo in un personaggio, però non sapevo che cosa sarebbe venuto fuori. Perfetto, ragazzuoli, io vi ringrazio tantissimo per essere rimasti con me fino a qui. Incredibile, è stato bellissimo. Ha proprio delle tematiche veramente importanti. Mi è un po' dispiaciuto che non ci fosse il domain alla fine, però va bene così. Non c'è sempre, questo è vero, ma diciamo che c'è la maggior parte delle volte. Però qua non c'era, quindi va bene così. Comunque io vi ringrazio tantissimo per essere passati, per aver visto me che mi commuovo per le cose semplici. E buonanotte a tutti. Ciao 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 ciao.
Water comes